Okay, we should be live. We should be live. What's going on, guys? Just a quick little boxing stream, nothing too crazy. I'm playing myself in the background. Let's turn that off. Fucking always hate hearing my own voice, man. Okay, let's get that sorted. That's brilliant. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Let me change a couple of settings and we should be good to go. Sort that out. Okay. Boom, boom. I think that's sorted. Is it working? Yo, can you guys hear me, by the way? Sorry about that. Tell me if you guys can hear me because I'm using my phone. So, not sure how the sound quality is. Had a bit of technical problems with the old PC. So, yeah, man, I thought I'd use my phone instead. A big up to MMA champ in the building. He's eating some crab legs. I do like a bit of crab. Can't lie. I can't lie. Carlos Mendoza as well in the chat. Big up to Carlos. Dominic Chetchery as well. He says he's going to be fuming if Josh King chooses Fulham over us. Big up to Right Hook Boxing as well every single time. Michael Van Gerwen. Who have I got in Wallin versus Brazil? I've got Wallin on points, mate. Wallin on points. I heard about that Carlos Mendoza, the documentary, in regards to Daniel Kinahan. I saw the advertisement for it. I'm just getting used to this on my phone, by the way. So I've never used StreamYard on my phone, not with my own live stream anyway. Big up to Liam Normand in the chat. I wondered if my quality was as good on the phone. Thought it might be a bit dodgy, but seems okay. Seems okay. Yeah, so apparently it's going to be on the same card as Adrian Broner. He's still scheduled to return end of February, I believe. I think it's the 20th of February. So it should go down. So long as Adrian Broner, that fight still goes ahead, I think it's going to go down on that card. I think it's 20th of February. Broner, I think Broner now has a replacement opponent for his fight. So yeah, should be going down 20th of February on Showtime in the States. So it's a pretty good fight. It's an interesting fight for Otto Wallin. Kind of goes to it will tell us how good he is. You know, Brazil is what he is. He's a tough dude. Yeah, he's been knocked out by Wilder and Joshua, but he's one of those guys where if you're not at that level, he can expose you. You know, like he did against Amir Mansour, for example. He managed to expose him quite nicely. So it's a good little test for Otto Wallin at this stage, in my opinion. It's a good little test. My PC is completely fucked for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on here. Not sure what's going on at all. Technical problems. Technical problems. I might have to sort this PC out, you know, I ain't gonna lie. It's really bugging me. Completely shit itself and froze the whole PC. And now it's having some problems, I guess. I'm not sure what the fuck's going on. That's good, Carlos. That's good, man. That's good. I need to check that program out. Yeah, that was a great fight, bro. That was a great fight. Right hook boxing, yeah. Dominic Brazil is Iragono, underrated heavyweight scrap. Looked like Agono was going to win at one point. Brazil was hurt, he was dropped, but he came back, man. He's a tough dude, man. He's a tough dude. There's no doubt about it. Dominic Brazil. He's always gonna come up short against the best guys, but he's a good test for certain people in the division. Dominic Brazil. It is what it is, man. What can we say? What can we say, Liam? It is what it is. It's all an interaction at the end of the day, I guess. Big up to Packer 0313. Can hear you fine. Boxing feels kind of quiet in January, but I think things are picking up now in the next few weeks. You're right, bro. Yeah, they are. They're definitely picking up. February, some real good fights. Joe Smith Jr., Maxime Vlasov. Really looking forward to that fight. That's for the vacant WBO title. Should be a good fight. That you've got Jojo Diaz versus Rakamov. You've got who else? You've got Patrick Teixeira versus Brian Castano. By the way, all of these fights I've mentioned are on February the 13th. So February 13th, really stacked. Josh Kelly versus David Avanesian. I think that's the 20th of February. So we've got some good fights coming up next, or this month. We've got some good fights coming up. Looking forward to it, man. Yeah, boxing's been quiet, no doubt about it, in January. We lost a couple of fights like Sergey Kovalev and Melikuziev. That kind of bummed me out, that fight getting cancelled. That kind of pissed me off. Big up to the patriarchy in the chat as well. Trevor Bryan has a great physique. Yeah, man, the Pillsbury Doughboy. Yeah, he looked like a right state, didn't he? Old Trevor Bryan. He did his thing, you know, won the fight, but to me, didn't look anything special whatsoever. Looks very beatable, slow, sluggish, just basic as hell. I mean, if I was one of these young heavyweights like Tony Yoka, Filip Hrgovic, Arslanbek Makhmudov, if I was one of these guys, I'd be looking at Trevor Bryan. Do you know what I mean? Because that's a free trinket as far as I'm concerned. All of these highly touted prospects like Hrgovic, like Yoka, they would beat Trevor Bryan, in my opinion. And I think that would be a great way for these guys to get their names up there and put themselves in a good position to get a fight with that fake belt. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But I don't rate Trevor Bryan at all from what I've seen. I watched the fight actually against Bermain Stavern on the night. I stayed up for it for some reason, like an idiot. I watched it. Wasn't all that impressed. He was getting tagged up by Stavern. Stavern won. He actually won a couple of rounds for Bermain Stavern. So yeah, Trevor Bryan, man, he's nothing special. Big up to Bump of K in the building as well. Yeah, I heard about that. Michael Van Gerwen, Keishon Davis. Keishon Davis, the US amateur turned pro with Matchroom. Yeah, on the Canelo undercard. Good signing by Matchroom. Good signing. He's a good talent. A lot of hype about him, I've heard. So whether he's going to be the real deal or not, I'm not sure. But Definitely a good signing. Big up to Ben Haynes. McGregor versus Gurthy. Good European title fight, Ben. Good European title fight. Gurthy's been around for quite some time at European level. I think he's operated quite well at that level. When he's stepped up, he's kind of come up short, but he's tried and trusted at that level. So I think it's a good fight for Lee McGregor at this stage. I would expect Lee to win. He's a bigger dude. He's younger. He's fresher. I expect Lee to win, but I think it's going to be a test. I really do. Big up to Troll Network every single time. Exactly. Salute to the Troll Network. Salute to the Troll Network. But yeah, that's a good fight, Ben. That's been pushed back though till like the 20. I think it's like the 19th of February. It was supposed to happen on the 6th, but it's been pushed back now. But yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good fight, no doubt. Just getting used to this shit on my phone. This StreamYard nonsense. Usually do it with my PC, but as I said, my PC is going through technical difficulties right now. So yeah, we're using the phone right now. As long as it sounds okay, that's the main thing. That's all that matters. What on earth is all this bullshit? There we go. Just fucking about with it in the background. Sorry about that. But yeah, nothing really coming up this weekend. But yeah, weekend after. That's when the boxing starts for this year, really. You know, we had a good start with Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell, but since then it's been dead, to be honest. I mean, it goes to show when I'm staying up till 4 a.m. to watch fucking Trevor Bryan versus Bermane Stiverne. That's when you know you've got something wrong with you more than likely. So I best get myself checked out ASAP, to be honest. Why I stayed up for it, I've got no idea. I wasn't even planning to, but I did. And yeah, but to be fair, you know, for what it's worth, you know, Trevor Bryan, Bermane Stiverne, both guys were grossly out of shape. Trevor Bryan's not really any good. Bermane Stiverne shot to bits. But despite all that, I can't lie. It wasn't the worst fight I've ever seen, if I'm being honest. It wasn't the worst fight I've ever seen. Yes, big up to G-Man in the building. Great channel, by the way, G-Man Boxing. Great channel. Big up to G-Man. He says, big up Dell. Given how Stiverne looked over the weekend, he would have knocked out Reverend Lovejoy. Totally agree, bro. We were saying that when that fight got made. I think you said the same thing. You was back in Stiverne. So was I, bro. I was back in Stiverne to beat Christopher Lovejoy. Listen, Stiverne showed a bit of heart in there. I've got to give him credit against Trevor Bryan. He took a beating, really. And he took some damage. So I'll give him credit. It was a relatively entertaining fight. Big up to Rapstar Boxing, man. I see you on a couple of podcasts, man. Big up to you, man. I heard you on whose channel was it? I think it was Johnny Boy's, man. So big up to Rapstar. Rip Barry McGuigan. I'm sure he's getting whacked after doing this Kinahan show. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I need to watch that. I need to watch that. I forgot it, mate. I forgot it was on. To be honest with you. Love Povetkin White 2. Need to see Helenius Kaunaki 2. Yeah, I mean, I'm up for both rematches. Believe it or not, I think I'm picking both guys to avenge their defeats. I've got a funny feeling Kaunaki is going to avenge that defeat. Problem for him, he just needs to get through the first 4-5 rounds. After that, Helenius' power seems to fade, and Kaunaki keeps up quite a good work rate. So I could see Kaunaki kind of walking him down and stopping him late on. Because, you know, Helenius never had a great gas tank. His chin isn't great either. So long as Kaunaki gets through the first few rounds, I think he can beat Helenius. And for some reason, I think Dillian's going to beat Povetkin. To me, Povetkin obviously won that first fight. Mesmerizing knockout, looked great, right? But, you know, before that, I thought Povetkin looked a shell of himself, you know, slow. His punch distance didn't seem there. His legs looked a bit weak, you know, and he landed that perfect shot. So I think both guys are going to avenge their defeats. I really do. But both good fights, though. Looking forward to them. What is Andrade going to do now that Billy Joe Saunders is fighting Canelo in May? He needs to finally secure a very big fight. Maybe Charlo, Jacobs, or Golovkin. Yeah, I would like to see all of those fights you've mentioned. He won't fight Jacobs because they're close friends, I believe. But Golovkin, unification fight, love to see it. And obviously Charlo as well, another unification fight. They're the fights we need at middleweight right now. But his mandatory Liam Williams, that's going to purse bids. So maybe we see Liam Williams versus Demetrius Andrade soon. I'd like to see that fight. I kind of want to see how good Liam Williams is. You know, he lost those Liam Smith fights, obviously. It looks like he's improved since then, but we don't really know until he steps up again. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Andrade fight Liam Williams, to be honest with you. I think that's a good fight for him right now, considering he can't really fight anybody else. Yes, G-Man has the best holy jeans on YouTube. Big up to G-Man every single time. He does indeed. King of ripped jeans. King of ripped jeans. I wonder if Trevor Bryan's seen Don King since. I doubt he's seen his paycheck, bro. I doubt he's seen his paycheck. Big up Dell. I'm not liking Garcia going for Pacquiao fight. I prefer the Davis fight. Hopefully Garcia faces the email champion later this year. Yeah, listen, man. In an ideal world, Faust, I would much rather see Ryan fight the guys in his own weight class. Right, Devin, Teofimo, Tank Davis, Lomachenko, these sort of guys, man. I'll be honest with you. Like this whole weight jumping thing that's going on in boxing right now, I'm not a big fan of it. I understand it if someone's like proven pound for pound and he decides to chance his arm and move up a couple of weight classes. I understand it in that circumstance when a guy is like really proven, etc. He's already had a good career. I can understand it when that sort of guy takes a chance, moves up a couple of weight classes, right? I can understand that. I accept it. But these guys who are not even proven, jumping weight classes to get payday fights, not really a big fan of it, but I understand it from Ryan's perspective. I do, because if he loses, he lost to a guy 2 weight classes above and a legend in Manny Pacquiao. And if he were to win, that's huge for his career. Imagine Ryan Garcia being the guy to beat Manny Pacquiao and retire him. That would be huge for his career. So maybe it's a risk worth taking. Maybe it's a risk worth taking. Joe Smith 1-4, Vlasov 11-4. I lean towards Smith Jr., but not that wide. I agree, George. I totally agree. I think Vlasov has a very good chance in that fight. My official pick is obviously Joe Smith Jr., but listen, Vlasov is a very good fighter. The guy's campaigned at cruiserweight and held his own against Krzysztof Glowacki, who was a world champion. So the guy's no slouch. He's a big guy. He can box a bit. Good fight, this. Who have you got if Conor Benn versus Josh Kelly happens? I would lean towards Josh Kelly, to be honest. Although Conor Benn to me has improved drastically since his pro debut. When I saw that guy turn pro, he turned pro in end of 2015, end of 2016, whatever it was. When I saw this guy fight for the first time on his pro debut, I thought he looked horrible. And I thought he would not amount to anything. But to his credit, he's improved a lot as a fighter. And he's half decent now. So I think that fight's a lot more competitive than I originally thought, but I would still lean towards Josh Kelly due to the amateur background, due to him being the bigger man, etc. So good fight, competitive fight, but I would lean towards Josh Kelly. But Josh has got to get past Avanesian first. And I'll tell you what, man, it's not an easy fight. That really isn't an easy fight. He could come unstuck there, Josh Kelly. He really could. That's a very hard fight. I agree, G-Man, yeah. Kaunaki's defense is non-existent. Obviously, he's an aggressive guy, but, he needs to be a lot more compact with his offense because he comes forwards, no head movement, no high guard. He's not compact at all. He's just there to be hit coming in. And that's what Helenius did first time around, He just caught him coming in. And, that really was it. So, yeah, he needs to shape up defensively, Kaunaki, but, providing he can ride that wave of the first few rounds, I think he can beat Helenius in the rematch, but I'm looking forward to that one, actually. I know people may say we don't really need that fight, but listen, I think it'll be entertaining. Yeah, I agree with patriarchy. I agree. Big up to Pound for Pound Boxing. Big up to Intangible Boxing News, another good channel. Marcy D. Big up to Marcy D. AJ Morningstar, Gervonta Stank Davis. Yeah, I will bump of K. I'll chuck it on the old iPlayer. Be interesting watch. There's no doubt about it. It's kind of funny though, isn't it? The BBC, they've not taken any interest in boxing in years and years and years. They're full of like those liberal types at the BBC, they kind of hate boxing. It's a working man's sport, etc., etc. First bit of coverage they give it is negative. That's typical BBC, you know. It's typical BBC, man. Yeah, it looks like that fight's being made for May after the Yildirim fight. I don't mind the fight just because really it's something different for Canelo in terms of style. Billy Joe, slick southpaw, he can move, decent hand speed, decent foot speed. It's a different challenge for Canelo, and he has struggled with that style in the past. So I'm intrigued about that fight just because of that, really. But I still expect Canelo to win, to be honest. Canelo's going to have way too much. I agree. I agree. Bump of K. Manny's going to have. Manny's still got way too much for Ryan Garcia, but you never know. Stranger things have happened in boxing. You never quite know. And I do, like I said, I understand I understand it from Ryan's point of view. Yeah, Isaac Cruz, the Mexican kid. Yeah, Mexican. He knocked out what's dude's name? Magdaleno. He knocked out Magdaleno. He looked good doing it. Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him a couple of times. AJ Morningstar. Don't really know too much about him. I need to do some research on him, but he looks destructive. He looks aggressive. Power in both hands. Yeah, that's another again right hook boxing. That's another thing. If it's gonna happen, make it a real fight, not an exhibition. We don't need to see that. Make it a real fucking fight. Totally agree. Big up to Jim McDonald boxing. Yeah, Barry McGuigan needs to go to witness protection. Indeed, indeed. AJ Morningstar, Jaime Munguia versus Gennady Golovkin. Good fight. I think there's a good possibility that fight happens next. Munguia, marketable guy, fun style, unbeaten, former champion at 154, developed into a big middleweight, and he's fan friendly, and that's going to mesh with Gennady Golovkin's style nicely. And by the way, I actually believe he'll give Golovkin some problems early on, just based on his sheer tenacity and kind of his youth kind of thing. But you would expect Gennady Golovkin to break him down and maybe stop him late. But I think that's a pretty good fight, to be honest. I wouldn't. I listen. If that fight got made next, you're not going to hear a complaint from me. I don't mind it at all. G-Man Boxing. When I first saw Ben, I thought he would. I thought to even get to British level would be an ask. Even he even said he could do 140, but didn't want to. Now still go with Josh Kelly, but Ben has improved. Just like the yeah, exactly. Just like yeah, the pot on IFL. Yeah, exactly. He's definitely improved a lot, Josh. Conor Ben, and yeah, he seems to be wanting to take relatively risky fights. He seems up for it. He's up for a tear up. So listen, he's grown on me. He's grown on me, Conor Ben. Virgil Ortiz versus Terence Crawford. Yeah, hopefully we see that fight soon. If Terence can't get opponents, maybe that's a fight they can look at because I can't see the PBC guys working with Virgil Ortiz Jr. So maybe that fight could happen soon. Virgil Ortiz right now fighting Maurice Hooker next. He's tearing through the rankings, looking great doing it. Young prospect, puncher. He's going to want that title shot soon, man. And maybe he can't get it against a PBC guy. So listen, man, Terence Crawford versus Virgil Ortiz could happen. Wouldn't be shocked if that happened at all. And I would love it to happen as well. Yeah, I agree, George C. Shane McGuigan saying Okole will peak at heavyweight. Can't argue. He has the frame, just needs a more fan-friendly style. Yeah, I agree, George. I do agree with Shane as well. We're going to see this guy at heavyweight. He's 6'5". He's tall. He's rangy. He'll be a decent-sized heavyweight. Just needs to bulk up a little bit. But I have to say, since he's gone to Shane McGuigan, I've seen some signs of improvement there from Lawrence Okole. It's not perfect. He's still raw, but I've seen a better use of a jab. A better judge of range. He's more accurate with a right hand without smothering himself. He seems to be picking his shots a lot better now under Shane McGuigan. I've seen a few signs that he's getting used to the Shane McGuigan tutelage, I guess. And I think that's a good move for him. I think you're going to see Lawrence Okole really develop as a fighter, and he's always going to be ugly to watch. But I'll tell you what, we can debate his skill set and whatnot. He's going to be very hard to beat physically. It's going to take a real good fighter to beat Lawrence Okole. He's not going to get beat by some scrub. It's going to take a real good fighter to beat him just based on physicality because the guy is it is a unit. Honestly, he's a real strong dude, Lawrence Okole, and he's not as bad as people say either, in my opinion. And listen, you've got to credit Lawrence Okole. A lot of these Olympians were extremely hyped, right? Like Anthony Fowler, Bouts, Kelly, all of these guys were really, really hyped up. But it's Lawrence Okole who's moved the furthest forwards. He's fighting for a world title next. He's taken risks against Matty Yaskin and the European champion Ngumbu, whatever his name was, or Ngabu, sorry, whatever his name was. He's actually taken risks, Lawrence Okole. He's being moved really well. Yeah, listen, some of his fights not great, but he seems to have the ambition, which I like. So I'm not hating on Lawrence Okole. I'm kind of giving him a bit of a break. I don't mind Lawrence Okole. Don't see why not, Marcy. Don't see why not. Big up Rap Star, man. Thank you very much, bro. Thank you very much. Big up to official scorecard boxing science as well. By the way, Rap Star, let me know if you got a channel, by the way, because I heard you on a few live streams. And yeah, man, seems like you know your stuff, bro. So let me know if you got a channel and I'll subscribe as well, bro. Yeah, I agree, Marcy. I think, like I said, I think Munguia's tenacity early on could give Golovkin a few problems, but Golovkin will grind him down. Big up to Lil Lad Stu. I'll see you in the BDA chat a few times. Big up to Lil Lad Stu. Vitaly Klitschko versus Evander Holyfield. That's a good fight, you know. That's a very good fight. You could see, it depends where that fight's held, you know, because if it's in Germany, you could see Vitaly holding Evander and really making it kind of ugly and horrible. But if it's in the US, you probably say Evander Holyfield on points. Holyfield is nobody's getting knocked out in that fight. I'll tell you that much. It'll be on points. It'll be on points. It depends where it's held. AJ Morningstar. The sheer size of Vitaly would be a big problem for Evander, though. Big problem. I'll tell you what, actually, I might upset some people, but I might actually go Vitaly on points. I might have to go Vitaly on points. Big up to Adam UK, man. Nice of you to drop by, bro. You're always showing up, man. You're always showing up, so big up, bro. I'd watch it, AJ Morningstar. I would watch it, but not really the fight I want to see. Jean Pascal's had a good career resurgence, but listen, he's past his best, man. Beterbiev would hurt him at this stage, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd rather see, don't get me wrong, I'd rather see Golovkin against Charlos or Andrade, no doubt. But listen, to me, Munguia wouldn't be the worst opponent in the world for Golovkin. I'd accept it. That's the fight we want to see, Marcy, at light heavyweight. But what I would expect would happen, Beterbiev's fighting his Mando, Adam Dines. Joe Smith's fighting for a vacant title against Maxim Blasov. I think Beterbiev's going to fight the winner of Blasov-Smith first to try and get that WBO belt. Then he would have 3 titles. And I think after that, we could get that fight between Bivol and Beterbiev because it would be undisputed. The light heavyweight division is real close, actually, to getting an undisputed champion. So fingers crossed the shit works out and we get this fight. Fingers crossed. Yeah, Faust, we spoke about that one earlier. Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Terence Crawford. I could see it happening. Just because Terence has no opponents really on his side of the street, and Virgil Ortiz Jr. is with Golden Boy, and he's not really going to get those PBC chances against their champion, so they could be forced to fight each other, Virgil Ortiz and Terence. Okay, so this is the channel. Okay, bro. What I'll do is after this, after I've finished here, I'll drop you a subscribe, and I'll check you out, man. I'm always looking for new stuff to listen to, bro, because I'm still working from home, so I'll definitely check you out, mate. Is Garcia pack happening? To be honest with you, Adam UK, I've got a feeling it's all talk. Garcia versus Pacquiao. Joseph, big up Del Boy. I don't see Joyce Usyk a done deal yet. If Parker beats Spar, he could take Joyce's spot. Yeah, and Parker's got a good relationship with the WBO, or at least his handlers do. And yeah, you could see him getting bumped up if he wins that fight or when he wins that fight, because he'll definitely beat Junior Farr. Oh yeah, the 90s. I'm not surprised. YouTube's always like that, man. I'm not surprised at all. I get that a lot, actually. A lot of people say my videos don't always go through on their feeds as well. Maybe I've said a few things, I don't know, but that's YouTube for you, mate. That's YouTube for you. Yeah, fingers crossed, Rapstar. That happens in May. I've heard rumors about it for May, maybe 8th, I think I heard. Something like that. And yeah, the sooner the better, mate, for that fight. Undisputed champion at 140. Both guys would have had a hard road to do it, you know, especially Josh Taylor. By the way, Jose Ramirez would be Josh Taylor's fifth undefeated fighter in a row he's fought, which is crazy. Josh Taylor's really gone above and beyond, especially for a UK fighter. We used to a lot of these guys pussyfooting around, picking up a belt, defending it against no hopers, then selling out. Josh Taylor's gone in there at the deep end, so I've got a lot of respect for Josh Taylor, a lot of respect for him, and he's a rare British fighter who can fight on the inside, and I like that a lot. He's got dog in him, man. He's got real fucking grit and dog, as we saw in the Pro Grace fight. He's a tough old boy, Josh Taylor, and make him tough up there in Scotland, man, no doubt. Got a lot of time for Josh Taylor. And I like Ramirez as well, by the way. Ramirez is a real good fighter. He's improved a lot. I first saw Ramirez, I think, back in like 2015, 2016. And if you told me then that guy would be a unified champion, I would have said no, he wouldn't. But he's improved a lot, so credit to him as well. It's a really good fight, bro. It's a really good fight. Yeah, it does. They was aiming for around March, Ben Haynes, but we've had no announcement yet, so we've had no announcement. I think that'll be a good comeback fight for Dimitri Bivol. Badu Jack's name, but obviously a bit older now, probably past his best. That'll be a good comeback fight for Bivol. Indeed, man. Indeed. A great fighter, Josh Taylor. Arguably pound for pound best in the UK, maybe. Who knows? I'm not one of those guys who like to put heavyweights in pound for pound rankings. So for me, Josh Taylor, number one pound for pound in the UK. My opinion. Do you think Josh Taylor's achieved more than Amir Khan at 140? Good question, actually. Amir Khan actually had a really good run at 140. Beat Maidana, Kotelnik, Judah, Malignaggi. Yeah, Khan had a good run at 140. But I think Josh Taylor's competition's been more impressive, you know? I think it's been more impressive. Because like Malignaggi, stylistically was perfect for Khan. Judah passed his best really at that stage. Maidana was a great win for Khan. And even Kotelnik was underrated, by the way, because Kotelnik, he lost to Devin Alexander, Kotelnik, but he got robbed in that fight. And Amir Khan schooled Kotelnik. So that was a good win. Yeah, fingers crossed for 90s, man. I hope he does it, man. I hope he does it. He's one of those guys, man. He's just about that business. He's about it. He's given us the fights we want. And that's all we can ask for as boxing fans. Whether we rate a guy or not, or whether we like him outside the ring or not, the only thing that really matters is whether he's delivering for us as fans in regards to giving us fights we want. And Josh Taylor is right now. So, yeah, I agree, bro. Does Taylor get a fair shake against the US fighter in Vegas? Interesting point, interesting question. Potentially no. It depends who top rank, who they feel has got the more upside between those two. Because let's be honest, yeah, Jose Ramirez in America is a big ticket seller when crowds are back. He does big numbers where he's from, like he sells out. So who knows? You always run that risk. You always run that risk when you're fighting abroad. You know, whether you're a foreigner coming to the UK or a foreigner going to America, you always run that risk. And you know, Josh Taylor, I'm sure he's evaluating that, and I'm sure he's going to put his own things in place to try and make sure those concerns are alleviated. But we'll see, man. I fingers crossed there's no fuckery in that fight. It's too good of a fight to get fucked. Taylor's skill set is too much for Ramirez, but he has to box. He doesn't want to start slugging it out with Ramirez. Yeah, I think he's got the better all-round boxing skills, Marcy D, particularly from the outside. Ramirez is the inside guy. He's like the pressure guy. He's only really got that one style where Taylor's more versatile. Taylor can definitely fight the pressure style, as we've seen in numerous fights. But if he fights that fight against Ramirez, he'll be giving Ramirez a better chance. So I agree. I think I want to see him box a bit more in this fight, behind that jab, that southpaw jab, and try and catch Ramirez coming in with that lead southpaw right hook. Because I think Ramirez could be a sucker for that shot, actually, coming in. But hopefully we get an announcement for that fight soon, because I think we deserve it, man. I think we deserve it. I've got no doubt, though. I've got no doubt that will happen. No doubt whatsoever. Beautiful. By the way, lads, if you could smash the like as well, be much appreciated. Always helps us out when you hit the like. As I always say, the nerds down at Silicon Valley love it when you smash that like. They get off on that shit. Tell you what, this StreamYard on your phone is kind of fucking laggy, I'm not going to lie. So I'm looking on the PC screen and the comments are coming through faster than they are on here. G-Man Boxing, no doubt Taylor and Ramirez happens next. Taylor UD. Yeah, I think I would go Taylor on points as well, G-Man. Competitive points win for Taylor. That's what I'm leaning with right now. But yeah, Ramirez can't be slept on, though. He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, no doubt. Got a lot of time for Ramirez. Oh yeah, I saw that rap star about Aram saying the winner of Taylor Ramirez will go up to fight Crawford. What do you think? I'd like to see it, bro. I listen. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. I'd like to see it. Only thing though, the only thing I would say, I wouldn't mind seeing the winner have have one fight at welterweight before they fight Crawford. Like like a tune-up fight at welterweight just to get him ready for that weight before they fight Crawford. That's all I'd want to see. But if they fought straight away, no problem on my end. No problem whatsoever. I think those guys, they're good enough to share the ring with Crawford. Why not? And like we say, Crawford right now is not getting the opponent, so it makes sense to me. Certainly makes sense. Yeah, it'll happen. They both, both guys are top ranked, so Bob's going to be looking at the dollar sign. Yeah, exactly. It makes sense, man. And like Rapstar said, the winner of that fight becomes like an attractive opponent for Terence Crawford, and that'll be a big fight. The winner of Ramirez Taylor versus Crawford, that'll be a big fight. Fans will definitely be up for it. Both Crawford and Taylor will be up for that. I think Taylor will be Crawford's toughest opponent yet if it happens. I agree, the 90s. I totally agree. Am I the only one who would like to see the winner of Ramirez Taylor fight Zepeda? Very good shout, Mr. Doc. Very good shout. Listen, Zepeda, regardless of what happens with Undisputed at 140, he deserves his shot next, as far as I'm concerned. Very underrated fighter out of that southpaw stance. Excellent counterpuncher, carries power, technically astute. Believe it or not, that could be a harder fight than Ramirez for Taylor, providing Taylor beats Ramirez. I think Zepeda's a harder fight for some reason. I really do. I think he's more dangerous. 140 right now is a killer division. Like Marcy D said, Prograis serious too. Did you see the knockout in his last fight? I did, yeah. So you've got Taylor, Ramirez, Prograis, Zepeda. You've got some real good fighters in that division. There's some good guys coming up as well at 140. It's a very good division. Real top heavy as well with quality. Victor Postal still knocking around as well, who's a real hard out for anybody. It's a good division, man. Which fight are you looking forward to most this year? I would say Joshua Fury, to be honest with you. I would say Joshua Fury, providing it happens, obviously. Joshua Fury, Taylor Ramirez, they're two right up there. Those two are definitely right up there. Oh, big up to Matt as well, man. Good evening, mate. Hope you're keeping well. Yeah, bro, I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing very good. I had a pretty good day, bit busy, but yeah, I'm doing good, man. And thank you for the support every single time, Matt. Or you always come through, man. So big up to Matt every single time. Hopefully you're doing well as well, mate. Hopefully you're keeping well in these crazy times. It is kind of crazy right now. I'm looking to change a few things. So there might be a period soon where I don't upload as much because I've got a lot of shit I need to sort out. But yeah, man, I'm sound as a pound, bro. Sound as a pound. And yeah, that's another guy who could move up to 140. Teofimo Lopez, he's a big guy at 135. He's going to move up soon. I would imagine Devin Haney's going to go to 140 soon. I think 140 for like the next few years is going to be real healthy, to be honest. I think it's going to be a real healthy division for the next 2 or 3 years. Yeah, good step up, G-Man. Dennis Hogan can box a little bit. He's awkward. He can take care of himself. Another different style for Tszyu to contend against. And that's what matching the prospect is all about, giving him different looks, different styles, like preparing him for world level. And I think that's a good little step up. Dennis Hogan gave Jaime Munguia all types of problems. So, yeah, man, I like that fight. I think it's a good little step up. Yes, exactly, Rapstar. Smash for like. Indeed, man, indeed. And at some point, like in the future, I do plan on having people on again, trying to have some open discussions and whatnot. Yeah, Mr. Doc, he showed a ton of heart and balls in that fight with Baranchik. Yeah, he's got some guts, man. Zepeda. It's crazy how Terry Flanagan's got a win over Zepeda on his resume because Zepeda's shoulder popped out. It's mad. Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued as well, Marcy D. I'm intrigued to see how Ruiz looks on his comeback. Big Andy Ruiz. Apparently he's lost weight, but we've heard that before. We can't trust Andy Ruiz's weight loss stories until we see it on the scales. He's like that fat bird who you look on Tinder under a filter when you fucking meet her. She's a fat pig. Do you know what I mean? You can't trust Andy Ruiz with his weight right now. I'll believe it when I see it. Official boxing scorecard science. Sorry, I got that wrong. Official scorecard boxing science. Yeah, I would definitely like to see Taylor versus Zepeda. Zepeda's a great fight for any 140-pounder. Yeah, imagine fucking Zepeda versus like Prograis, for example. That's another great fight. Brilliant fight. Yeah, I've played it a lot, right hook boxing. I've played it way too much. See, I've got a save on like an online save with my friend, so we play it all the time, man, and it's far too addictive, mate. It's far too fucking addictive. Good fight. That's a good fight, rap star. Tony Harrison, to me, I really rate Tony Harrison in terms of his skill set. He's got a beautiful jab, snappy puncher. Not a massive puncher, but he's got snappy punches, nice technique, beautiful feet, decent defense. He can box. He can fight on the inside. Tony Harrison is a really, really, really skilled fighter, but his gas tank isn't the best. I don't think his chin is the best. And sometimes I think he suffers with confidence issues in regards to his durability and his chin. But skill for skill, man, Tony Harrison is a really good fighter. And that'll be a big, big test for Tim Tszyu. Massive test for Tim Tszyu. I'd love to see it, man. But I think maybe they may see Tony Harrison as a little too much right now. But I'd love to see it, mate. Love to see it. See, if we was all matchmakers, we'd get some fucking great fights. We really would. You wouldn't see many unbeaten prospects if we was matchmakers. I'll tell you that much. Ruiz is a street kid. I remember 24/7 for the AJ fight. He was buying scratch cards and playing on the PS4. Laugh out loud. Yeah, he seems like that type, Andy Ruiz. He seems like that type, just like a big kid kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Andy's okay though, man. He seems like a nice dude. Shouldn't really insult him, but yeah, he just needs to get his ass in gear, man. Get in shape because he's got ability. He's got talent. He needs to try and really dedicate himself to boxing. See where he can go. We saw it. We've seen what he can do morbidly obese. He knocked out Joshua and gave Parker a real close fight. He can do well when he's a morbidly obese fat guy. So listen, if he dedicates himself and actually, applies himself to boxing, who knows where this guy could go? Who knows? But at the same time, you can't keep on holding faith that he's going to do it when he's promised it so many times. It's one of those things with Andy Ruiz. It's like the kid who cried wolf kind of thing. But hopefully he gets in shape. After beating Billy Joe Saunders and smoking plant, what's next for Canelo? Not sure if they'd gamble on Benavidez. Yeah, I think they see Benavidez as the big risk at 168 for Canelo. Um, you know, Benavidez has his own problems outside the ring, but to me, Benavidez is what I would call a great raw talent. He's big, he's strong, great hand speed, good combinations, power, nice jab as well. If he gets the right fights and he's trained correctly, Benavidez could be a real handful, And stylistically for Canelo, I think he does things that could trouble Canelo. Like I say, the hand speed, the volume of punches, the work rate, the strength, the size. I think that's Canelo's hardest fight at 168. If we're talking about true 168 pounders, I think that's the hardest fight for him. Big up to Rapstar, man. Thank you for dropping by, mate. Thanks for dropping by. Teofimo versus Ryan Garcia. I'll take Teofimo in a big way. Ryan's got a puncher's chance, obviously, but I take Teofimo. Way more proven. And I think he's just better as well, to be honest. I think he's just way better. Yeah, again, that's a fight that makes sense for this year. Marcy D. Wilder's going to have his comeback fight against Charles Martin, more than likely. Once Wilder knocks out Charles Martin, Ruiz has his comeback fight. Make Ruiz versus Wilder. I'd imagine that fight does well in the US in terms of numbers. I would imagine it would do pretty well. It would be on pay-per-view, I'm sure. Big up to Duck in the chat, man. Big up to Duck. Who would win, Ruiz or Wilder? Again, it's a hard one. Can you trust Ruiz to come in shape for one, and two? Where's Wilder's head at right now? To me, that's a real hard fight to call. I would need to see both guys have an interim fight before I decided. But pre-Wilder getting his ass whooped by Tyson Fury, I'd have gone with Wilder. I'll say that much. But right now, given what's gone on, I've got no clue. I need to see both guys have an interim fight. But it's a good fight though. I'll watch it on iPlayer, Carlos. I'll watch it on iPlayer. I'm kind of salty that the BBC are even running it, to be honest. Just because like they never touch boxing, and when they do, it's negative, man. But there we go. There we go. Big up to you. Will see my channel. Benavidez is more than a handful. Two-time world champion. Not ready for Canelo though. Canelo will break his body down. You could be right. You will see my channel. You could be right. I just think stylistically that guy poses more problems than Caleb Plant and Billy Joe for some reason, especially Caleb Plant. Probably Faust. Probably, mate. Probably. I can't argue with that, Duck. He's definitely like an undisciplined fat fuck. There's no doubt about it. Who loves for Charlie, but maybe he should stay on Charlie because Charlie's good for losing weight. So maybe he should get coked up before his fights. But yeah, you're right, bro. He needs to sort his discipline out because, like I said, I think there's potential there. There is potential there. Like this kid was sparring with Golovkin when he was like 16, 17, something crazy like that. Like this guy's been brought up like proper. He can fight. I really do believe that with Benavidez. I really do believe he can fight. But like you say, man, he needs to sort his life out outside the ring. Ruiz inside work is barbaric. I think Ruiz is better at mid range when he's exchanging with you. Like how calm he is when he's throwing punches with you. Like he remains so composed, man, and he can throw those fast combos in between your punches, as we saw against Joshua. He's got great composure, Marcy D. Great composure. Neary and Plant are the most overrated champions in boxing right now, waiting for them to get exposed. Yeah, I'm not a big believer in Caleb Plant whatsoever. I've said that a few times on this channel. And as for Lewis Neary, listen, the guy looked like a tank up until the Amanaka fights. And after he tested positive for PEDs, he's not looked the same since. So, yeah, I agree on both counts there, Andre. I agree on both counts. And as for Ugas versus Spence, Ugas will give him a good fight. He'll maybe win a couple of rounds, but Spence will take over, either win wide on points or stop him late. I don't think he can beat Spence. Great fight. You'll see my channel. Great fight. See, the fight I want to see is Benavidez versus Benavidez Plant. That's the fight I want to see. Yeah, you can tell Benavidez loves the coke. He looks like a fucking madman, Benavidez. Looks like some like Narcos fucking enforcer, doesn't he, Benavidez? But yeah, I like Benavidez, man. See, I've got no shame of admitting who I like in boxing. You guys know who I like. Some of my favorite fighters: Beterbiev, Benavidez, Michael Hunter. Who else do I like? Really like Golovkin. There's not many guys I really like. I can't lie, but there's a lot of guys I like. Oh fucking hell! Ruiz reminds me of somebody with Downs. He's always got a smile on his face, even when he's being punched. Yeah, yeah, he's got that vibe about him, like that kind of special kid vibe. You know, maybe held back a couple of years in school, kind of thing. But yeah, he seems like a nice guy, Andy. Could Jose Quintana do well in today's 147? I remember he beat Paul Williams in 08. Could he be more of a Ugas or Lipinets level? I would say so, Brandon. I think he was like a one-hit wonder, Carlos Quintana. Because he beat Williams, didn't he? And then he lost the rematch. Yeah, he did, Andre. Ramos can punch, don't get me wrong, but Ramos is nowhere near a top 10 fighter at welterweight, so that was kind of worrying. Exactly, Matt. Exactly. By the way, have you guys seen David Benavidez' stepmom? She's a proper fucking MILF, you know? Proper MILF. So what's not to like about David Benavidez? He's got a fun fighting style. He comes to take your head off and beat you up. He's got a MILF fucking stepmom. He's a cokehead. What's not to like about this guy, man? What's not to like? I'm a big Benavidez fan. Big Benavidez fan. I think he's a very good prospect, Copend. I think I've followed Tim Tszyu's career since he turned pro. Basically, I made videos about him way back then. When he turned pro, he kind of reminded me of Chris Eubank Jr. Not in terms of style, but like you could see he was raw, but there's some sort of potential there. And he actually got dropped early in his career, Tim Tszyu. But yeah, he stuck with it, and he's improved each fight. He's looking more and more like his dad with every fight in terms of the composure, the jab, the technique on that right hand, the distance control. He's starting to put it all together now, Tim Tszyu, and he's developing into a real solid fighter at 154. And yeah, potentially could he be a world champion? I say so. Yeah, he could, depending on the circumstances, because depends on who's holding the belts. But yeah, I could see him beating somebody half decent and being a world champion. I thought your favorite fighter was Wilder. Uh, nah, I used to like Wilder actually, believe it or not, until everything went crazy. But yeah, Wilder's kind of done out here. Exactly, you'll see my channel. That's the thing. Yeah, it looks like that's happening next to AJ Morningstar. Now Ugas is the full WBA champion. That's going to happen next, bro, because it's going to be a unification. My favourites used to be Usyk, Loma, Billy Joe Saunders, and Fury. Now I hate them all. Yeah, again, I used to like Tyson Fury as well, way back when he turned pro, till like probably until like the Klitschko fight just after. And after that, to me, everything that went on, he kind of changed, kind of sold out. Yeah, Tyson Fury, man, he's not that same guy he was back in the day. Yeah, I've never liked Billy Joe Saunders, though. I can't lie. Never liked him. Stylistically, who do you think has a good chance against Errol Spence Jr.? Listen, if Pacquiao was a bit younger, I would say Pacquiao, but given his age, I can't really say that. Obviously, Terence Crawford, really. That's the only one at 147. And Virgil Ortiz Jr., believe it or not. I think he would have a good chance, given how, Errol can be hit. Virgil's a real good offensive fighter with power in both hands. He's got a lovely jab. I think Virgil Ortiz Jr. could Virgil Ortiz could really trouble Errol Spence. I'd say Virgil Ortiz and Terence Crawford are Errol Spence's biggest threats right now. Yeah, Loma will come back, bro. Marcy, Loma's going to come back. What I could see happening, I could see Teofimo fighting his Mando, Cambosos. I think that's going to happen. And I could see Lomachenko fighting Nakatani at 135. You know, Nakatani who recently beat Verdejo. I could see that happening. Oh my days! I hope not, Lewis. Lewis, man, that's a bad fight. Hopefully, that's not true. Abner Mares hasn't fought in God knows how long. He had a retirement scare with his eye, you know, a bad eye injury. He's shot to bits, Abner Mares. There's no, listen, Gervonta Davis needs to really, no, he can't fight that guy. He can't fight Abner Mares. Dubois potentially coming back in April, a bit worrying. He really needs a long time out of the ring. Wouldn't be mad if he sat 2021 out. Yeah, listen, he'll probably come back in June, I reckon, against like a cream puff guy. Then he'll try and step up again. But yeah, it's going to be a long road back for Dubois. Like I said, I'd like to see him come back against someone like Marius Wack, a guy who's very beatable, past his best, but he's durable. He can take you rounds, and he's going to throw a few shots back. You know, that's the sort of matchmaking Dubois missed out on in his career against those sort of tough, durable guys who can actually give you a few rounds. That's what Dubois missed out on. He's never really had those build-up fights, and we saw against Joe Joyce that was really exposed. So, yeah, Frank Warren this time around needs to take his time and actually develop him instead of rushing him. No doubt. Yeah, Duck, I remember. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. See, I like to give everybody a chance. Yeah, maybe I'm naively optimistic, but I like to give people chances. But yeah, I got that one. I got that one wrong, bruv. I can't lie. Good fight, AJ. Edgar Berlanga versus Melikuziev. I'll take Melikuziev right now. Berlanga's all Berlanga's shown me is that he can punch, and he's a big kid. Really, that's all he's shown me. I've not really seen him deal with somebody who's backed him up. I've not seen him fight a guy who's elusive or making him cut the ring off. You know, he's fighting bodies right now who are there to make him look good. So I'd probably say Melikuziev based on the amateur background. I would say so. Virgil Ortiz, Maurice Hooker. I'd say Virgil Ortiz, like knockout rounds 5 to 8, and Usyk Joyce. That's going to be a real hard fight for Usyk. I could see that being a razor close decision win for either guy. Probably Usyk though, razor close, real close decision. Joyce has improved a lot since their first fight in the World Series of Boxing. He's improved a lot, as has Usyk. But Joyce is physically so much bigger now than he was back then, so much stronger as well. That's a hard fight, you know, for Usyk. Close Usyk win, but I wouldn't be shocked if Joe Joyce pulls it off. I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever. No, listen, bro, that's a terrible fight, Lewis, man. It's a terrible fight, isn't it? Yeah, hopefully Davis don't stoop that low. There's no excuse for that one, man. There's no excuse whatsoever. Dubois versus Tavern. Mate, listen, Duck, we laugh, yeah, we laugh, but Stavern will be a better test than fucking Fujimoto, all these other guys he fought. That goes to show how bad some of his fights were. At this point, Adam, I've got to be honest, man. At this point, no. You know, I just want to see it happen. I just want to see it happen. And listen, with the world the way it's in right now, the way it's in right now, if he was waiting for this fight to be in the UK, I mean, we're going to be waiting for a long time because I can't see live crowds anytime soon in the UK. Like any large crowds in the UK, I can't see it anytime soon. So just make it happen, bro. Make it happen. Big up to Levi Khan. Big up to Levi out of NYC. Yes, Levi. Big up to Levi. Yeah, he should retire. No doubt. Yeah, that's it, Cop in '09. Like Joe Joyce is like a fucking he's like a diesel engine. Like first couple of rounds he's a bit off, but he really starts he can he gets stronger as the fight goes on, man. You're right, that could be a fight of two halves, a very close, controversial fight, I could see. It's a real intriguing fight, man. And it'd be interesting to see how Joe Joyce approaches it. Because Joe Joyce in his pro career so far, yeah, he doesn't look the fastest, doesn't look the most athletic, but he's very adaptable. So we've seen him apply pressure. We've seen him box on the back foot behind the jab. We've seen him do a few things in there. I wonder how he would approach that fight. I'm assuming he would pressure Usyk, but interesting fight. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised by that sort of stuff, Marcy. Let them people be you know live in denial and whatnot. It's not going to change the fact of what happened. It's not about that fight. We know that, man. It's about other internal issues, that confidence issues. You know that they see these fighters as they see these fighters as like an extension of themselves. And if they fail, if that fighter fails, they feel they failed. And as we see that a lot in general in society, a lot of people just worship these celebrities, trying to look like them, dress like them, act like them. You know, a lot of people just their priorities are all kind of messed up. They really are. Like at the end of the day, man. Listen, I've got my favorite fighters, as you guys know. But if any of these guys lose, I'm not really going to be. I'm not going to get upset about it. I've still got to pay my bills tomorrow. I've still got to, do my work and whatnot. My life don't change if Beterbiev gets knocked clean out, or if Michael Hunter gets knocked clean out. My life don't change. So I don't get why people are so fucking, so emotional about it. But whatever, each to their own, I guess. Do you think Eddie and Matchroom power over judges? Sorry, do you think with Eddie's and Matchroom's power over judges that Fury could get robbed on the cards against Joshua? It could be possible. It could be possible. And it would it would sell that rematch, wouldn't it, as well? It would sell the rematch. And obviously we know there's a rematch clause anyway, so maybe. Maybe. Hopefully not, though. We don't want to see a robbery in that fight. I saw comments saying Tyson Fury would beat Vitaly Klitschko. Vitaly Klitschko would be a much harder fight for Tyson Fury than Vladimir was. Vladimir was much more methodical, less averse to taking risks and forcing the action. Vitaly was a killer, man, and he was an awkward fighter as well, man. He was very awkward, herky jerky, threw a lot of punches for a heavyweight. Punches in bunches. It's a much harder fight for Tyson Fury, a much harder style for Tyson Fury. That'd be a very interesting fight, actually. I can't even envisage in my head how that fight plays out. I really can't. It's a good fight, that is. That's a very good fantasy fight. No, I've not seen it, Duck. I've not seen it. I will watch it at some point. I will watch it at some point. I was saying earlier, though, Duck, that's typical BBC television. They never cover boxing, yeah, rarely cover boxing, and the time they do, it's negative. The fucking powers that be in the BBC hate boxing. They always have, man. Working class sport. We know what the BBC are like, man. We know what they're like. AJ says Vitali destroys Fury. It could happen. Listen, bro, it could happen. I've got no idea, man. It's a good to me. It's an interesting fantasy fight, both stylistically. I think it's interesting. I do like thinking about those fantasy fights. I was thinking of doing like a series on my channel about them, but I just couldn't be asked. Tell you the truth, couldn't be asked. Yeah. See, that's a shame we never got that rematch for 90s. It's a shame we never got the rematch, but I understand why Lennox retired. He was getting old. He had a long career. I understand why he retired. I don't hold that against him like a lot of people do. But it is what it is. The rematch would have been a lot different because obviously Vitali came in at short notice. He would have a full training camp, and Lennox Lewis was grossly out of shape. If they had a rematch, both guys would be in much better condition. So it'd be interesting to see how that went down. It'd be very interesting to see how that went down. Anthony Joshua on YouTube. How do you mean? Duck. Is he live or something? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean, bro. I'll give it a watch, Boxing Loser Stars. I'll give it a watch, mate. I was kind of adverse to watching it because I don't like how the BBC portray boxing. They never really, like I said, I've said it a couple of times in the stream, but they never support boxing. And the time they give it coverage, it's negative, man. I will watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch it. I don't think it was Duck, but you could be right. I've not seen that fight in a long, long, long time. I'm talking 7, 8 years, probably. Not seen it in a long time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about the BBC Crazy D3. They've always got their agendas. They've never rated boxing at all for a long, long time. They binned boxing in the early 2000s after Audley Harrison left, and they've been shitting on it ever since. So that's why I weren't really feeling that documentary. I weren't really, you know, not really willing to. I'll watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch it on a fucking stream though. I won't sign up to iPlayer. I can't sign up to iPlayer anyway because I've not got a fucking TV license. But I'll find a copy online. Yeah, exactly. Savile protectors. Yeah, and these are the same people who lecture us on how to be virtuous and live our lives in a kind manner. Get the fuck out of here, man. There's probably people still working there who knew about what he was doing, and these clowns have the audacity to lecture us on how bad people we are and all that shit. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy, crazy stuff, man. JB Yodel, hope you're well. I made 40 quid doing the stocks. Seems like they crashed when I got out. Have you been following it? Yeah, I've seen a bit of the news online about it, JB Low, like about the whole the GameStop stocks and whatnot, Wall Street bets on Reddit. I've paid a little bit of attention to it, probably less than I should have. But yeah, that's another sort of thing I'm looking at. I've been kind of researching things, not in regards to the stock market, but crypto mainly. I took a dabble in crypto in December, made a little bit of money, but basically bottled it and just took it out. And I'm fuming because there was a coin. What was it called? It was called like ADA or Cardano, I think it was. And in December, like it was like fucking 16 pence a coin. Now it's gone up to like fucking, I think it's gone up to like 35 pence a coin. So it's basically pretty much doubled. So, and I had money in it and I bottled it and I took it out. So, yeah, I need to give crypto a real go. My problem is, yeah, I'm not a betting man at heart. I'm not like I'm not that way inclined, so I always get real tetchy in regards to that sort of thing. But I need to let go of that, set some money aside, and just say, "Fuck it, here's a grand. If I lose it, I lose it. Let's go for it," kind of thing. Because you never know what could happen, especially in crypto. Like Kinahan should sue the BBC. Listen, I'm Team Kinahan, man. Fuck that. Kinahan, listen, if Kinahan makes that fucking fight with Joshua and Fury, listen, man, fuck the BBC. Exactly the 90s, yeah. They hate boxing after Audley. They hate it and MMA. BBC will do everything they can to ignore or speak about boxing. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, look at even MMA when Michael Bisping became the first British fighter to win a UFC belt. That was a big deal, as far as I'm concerned. And they didn't cover it once. They didn't cover it once. Favorite fighter is Baturbiev, followed by a whole host of guys like Michael Hunter, Golovkin, Benavidez, Estrada, Roman Gonzalez, Naoya Inoue. I tell you what, I really like the look of Stephen Fulton as well, the Philly kid. I really enjoyed his fight with Angelo Leo. Um, who else do I like? I like. I've told you this a lot. This guy. I've told you guys this a lot as well. Jamel Charlo. I'm a big fan of Jamel Charlo. There's a lot of guys I like, man. Loads of guys I like. Indeed, boxing loser stars. Indeed, man. They're a bunch of scumbags. Exactly. It's not like, yeah, go for Bitcoin, Del Boy. There are worse investments. It's not like betting on Conor to beat Mayweather or anything. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, Jay. Exactly. Yeah, but that's true. The nineties. So I've been doing a lot of research on it, and there's like they call it pump and dump, and a lot of those are fucking scams. There's one on some coin called PNT like last night, a big pump and dump, and a lot of people lost money. So basically, it was like a big Discord server where they had like hundreds of thousands of people in it, and they basically announced the coin that they wanted to pump. But obviously, the people organising that already have the money in that coin, so when it gets pumped up, they sell, and a whole host of people lose money basically because they get in too late and whatnot, and it plummets. But yeah, you got to be very careful. You got to be very careful. I think that's probably the trap people fall into, like seeing it as like a get rich quick scheme. I think that's what people fall into. But there are certain products out there, certain coins that are really, really attractive. Like ADA Cardano to me looks very, very interesting, but got to find the fucking nutsack to actually invest. Yeah, I like Jamel, man. Jamel's a fucking proper. He's a killer, man. He's a unified champion, man. Three belts. He's fought some good dudes. Tony Harrison. He's Erickson, Lubin, Trout, Rosario. He's fought some good guys, man. Okay, so he trains with Jaron Ennis. Okay, I like the look of him, Levi. I like the look of him. Looks a very good fighter. I was going to say prospect, but he's not anymore. He's a world champion. Looks very good, and I liked how he switched it up, Levi, because what I saw of Stephen Fulton before, he was more of like the boxer type kind of thing. But in that fight, he proper switched it up. Fought on the inside, great body work, showed some good versatility. So I like what I see from Stephen Fulton. I like what I see. I saw that as well, Levi. Weren't surprised at all. I wasn't surprised at all. Yeah. See, that was a meme coin, wasn't it? That was a meme coin, but people just pumped it up and yeah, people made some money. So you can make a lot of money quickly in that sort of shit, but that's why it's so attractive. But that's also the danger. Most people lose money when they go in there with that sort of attitude. That's what I need to be careful of. But I'm looking into it. I'm doing research and whatnot, and it's frustrating, but because there's a couple of coins where I looked at a month ago and I bottled it, and now those same coins are like in a better position. So it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. How many people have the BBC killed promoting the Iraq War? A few million, and they're chasing boxing. Yeah, these people have no shame, bro. They're not even a news organization, bro. They're a propaganda fucking outfit. Like any of these mainstream media outlets are. What do they call it? It's called television programming for a reason. Just programming people. What did Skepta say? Go home and smash your TV. That's what you should do, man. Fuck the news. Fuck mainstream media. Not interested, man. Not interested. That's why I don't pay my TV license. I've not even had one visit from the TV goons either, and I genuinely don't watch it either. It's full of shit. Yeah, I wasn't impressed, Azad. I wasn't impressed at all, bro. And I agree. I think Benavidez ends him as well. The problem with Caleb Plant. Listen, he's got some nice moves. He looks kind of flashy at times. He's got a nice flick jab. He flicks up from the waist. He's got some nice moves. He's got skills. He's got ability. I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm not saying he's not any good, but I just see him as like an average belt holder kind of thing. He's got no power. His punch volume is exceptionally low, and it's one shot at a time. And the problem is, I keep on hearing people call this guy fleet-footed. When he's in that Philly shell, he's exceptionally flat-footed. That's part of that stance, and he's going to invite David Benavidez onto him, man, and he's going to get dog walked. He's not going to keep David off him for 12 rounds. He is going to get mashed up, man. Trust me. I totally agree. Totally agree. I agree. Boxing loser stars. Totally agree, mate. Totally agree. Yeah, man, it's fucked up, innit? Like they got a taste of their own medicine for once. Pricks. Yeah, exactly. You get Discord or 1,000 people. They suddenly tweet to a certain coin, like you said, when it can be a con. It's a trap to make money, so they make money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you can get lucky in those sort of things. You can if you do it early, like you can get lucky, like you can, but a lot of people lose money, man. Yeah, I see, Timmy, man. I see, man. They did, yeah, they did. They was after I think it was after Michael Watson got injured. They was very supportive over that fucking petition. They was very supportive. Sorry, over that petition to ban boxing. You're right. Yeah, exactly, Faust, man. They're not worth listening to. Not worth listening to. Just fear mongering crooks, as far as I'm concerned. So many people these days, like they're scared of like just what's going on right now, man. And like it makes you wonder, man. Like, have these people enjoyed life? Because I always think, yeah, like you can't be that scared to die if you've not. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you can't be that fearful over what's going on right now if you like if you've lived life kind of thing. I don't want to be fucking locked down. I want to get back to living life and shit, you know. But these people just seem so happy with what's going on right now. But there we go. There we go. It is what it is. Yeah, TV. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Only movies these days. Yeah, movies, sport. I like my old documentaries as well. I've actually been getting into a bit of a serial killer documentary vibe right now. I'm a bit of a fucking weirdo like that. I get into like phases where I watch different things. So I'm into serial killers at the minute. But yeah, some interesting shit out there, man. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad right hook boxing. It's absolutely mad. Absolute extortion. Extortion as far as I'm concerned. Absolute disgrace what they get away with. And listen, man, it's I don't know. Should be abolished as far as I'm concerned. Should be abolished. Okay, so yeah, yeah, I saw it, Levi. I saw it. He says I follow Damani Rock on Instagram, and he literally doesn't ever train. Hasn't posted about boxing in years, and it showed on Saturday. Yeah, yeah, he looked like a mess, man. He looked like an absolute mess. The Pillsbury Doughboy. He looked like any underrated fighters out there or people to watch out for. I would still say someone like Estrada is underrated. I think Estrada is grossly underrated. Actually, like I always say, he reminds me of Juan Manuel Marquez in his style. Great counter puncher. He can trade. He can box. I think Estrada, like pound for pound, is very underrated. Kazuta Ioka out of Japan, four-weight world champion, underrated as far as I'm concerned. MJ Akhmadaliev as well. I think he's quite underrated. There's a lot of guys out there who I don't think get the shine they deserve. Damn duck. One time I made €6,000 on cryptocurrency Verge, then I got hacked. Your wallet got hacked. Fuck me, and that's another thing as well. You got to watch out for. It's messed up, man. I would see if I was you, Duck. I would. That probably ruin. That wouldn't ruin my day. That would ruin my fucking. That'd ruin my week. Honestly, I'd be so fucking mad. I'd be so mad. It's crazy, man. And you know the person who hacked you is probably some like skinny dweeb, yeah, like 5'5", couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. Yeah, he's robbed you for 6K. But he wouldn't rob you in the street. Do you know what I mean? That's some little dweeb probably done it. That makes me even more mad because that pissed me off, honestly. That pissed me off. Yeah, Adam, exactly, Adam. Yeah, and the way people panicked, especially during the first lockdown in March, like toilet paper and fucking all this shit. How they was panicking to buy that shit. What would happen if there was like a food shortage, like a genuine crisis? Like these are the same people, yeah, the same people who went out there to buy this toilet roll and hoard it. These are the same people who would fucking smash you over the head for your last tin of beans. Like these people can't be trusted. There's nothing worse. There's nothing more. There's nothing more dangerous in this world than a man who lives in fear, because he will do anything to protect himself, like sell out his family, his friends, just to protect his own back. There's nobody more dangerous than a cowardly man, as far as I'm concerned. No, nobody more dangerous. So you got to watch out for these people. They could be your neighbors or anything, man. You got to watch out for these people. Yeah, the Chechen Wolf. Yeah, saw him on the zone. Yeah, looks like a very good fighter. He can punch a bit as well. Assad, he can punch a bit. When he started speaking as well in the interview, I was shocked about how good his English was. His English was insane. Like you couldn't tell he was Russian or Chechen. You couldn't tell. It's mad. Time Poop is 3-0 in the streets. Yeah, you can see it, official. You can see it in the style, man. You can see it, man. I like Estrada a lot, man. I like Estrada a lot. Yeah, who holds the BBC to account? They are a poisonous bunch, though. They are a poisonous bunch. Can't be trusted. Yeah, so the wallet got hacked. Okay, that's another thing I'm worried about with all the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Was you a big fan of the heavyweight division in the '90s? Mad when McCall started crying in the ring. Do you think he should have got fined? Nah, he was in a bad state as it was. I think a fine would have pushed him over the edge. But yeah, I like going back and watching those fights. The Holyfield Bow trilogy, best trilogy in heavyweight boxing history. Better than Fraser versus Ali. I said it right now. The Bow Holyfield trilogy is better than the Ali Fraser trilogy, in my opinion. Yeah, the '90s boxing scene was great at heavyweight, but I wasn't around then. By the way, I'm not that fucking old. I'm only 26 years young. Yeah, he showed some heart, Levi. He showed some heart, man. He showed some heart. He showed a bit of guts. But you're right. Yeah, Clever Brian isn't any good. Evening, Del Boy. What's your thoughts on Nikita Ababi? I'm not too impressed, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not either, mate. Looks very, very workmanlike. Doesn't look all that quick. He can punch a bit, but he's one of those guys here. Do you know when you just get that vibe, that kind of gut feeling about a fighter where you just know that he's one hard punch away from disaster. He doesn't look like he can take much, is what I'm trying to say. I've got that feeling about him, to be honest. I think he's a bit of a glass cannon, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't really rate what I've seen so far. Yeah, exactly, Brandon. That's a good point. Yeah. I'm not sure what you're referring to, pound for pound boxing, mate. I've got no idea. I don't really keep up with all that sort of thing. I'm just kind of I just keep up with boxing on the mainstream like boxing scene and shit. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yeah, so yeah, once you're hacked, you're fucked. Yeah, on with wallets and crypto. Yeah, if that was me, man, I'd be fuming, absolutely seething. What weight is Estrada at? Super flyweight. Assad, super flyweight. McCall was often crying. He used to cry during ring walks. They said it was a mental breakdown, but to be honest, that was normal McCall behaviour. Laugh out loud. Yeah, he had he had a drug problem, didn't he? Wasn't he a crackhead, Oliver McCall? Like, I think he had a drug problem as well back in the day. Yeah, Dark. That would have taken me a long time to get over. Honestly, it would have taken me a long time to get over. Honestly, man. I don't, listen, man. Exactly, boxing loser star. Yeah, exactly, boxing. Yeah, probably some gimp little kid did it. Yeah, exactly. And if you met him, you'd fucking throttle him. Yeah, 100% Marcy D. 100% Marcy. But it's no different now though. A lot of these guys these days are on PEDs. Let's be honest. Yeah, big up to IBT every single time, man. Nice of you to drop by. Big up to IBT. Hopefully you're doing good, mate. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. But yeah, one day, boys, we'll all crack it and we'll become millionaires one day. One day. If I ever do, though, I'd leave the UK and never come back. Honestly, there's things I like about this country. Like there are things I really like about this country. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like the people all that much. To be honest with you, I really don't. Don't like the people all that much. Like the weather, the weather's a bit of a downer as well, obviously. But the main thing for me is the people. Just it's weird, man. But yeah, if I ever could, if I ever had the opportunity to, I'd definitely leave this country and never come back. Big up to J989898. Big up to Jay. Yeah, it was a very good nickname, Levi. Yeah, very good nickname. The Atomic Bull, one of the best nicknames and colourful characters in heavyweight history. Still active, boxing as recently as 2 years ago. Beat drug addiction, boxing street legend. Yeah, man, he's done well for himself, man. He's been through a lot. Good news. WBO are going to order a purse bid for Andrade versus Williams. I hope Williams batters him like onion rings. Yeah, man, it's a good fight. Listen, it's a good fight. I think both guys need that right now. I want to see Liam step up to see how much he's really improved, if he has. And Andrade just needs to fight somebody half decent. So I'm all for it. Hopefully it happens. Yeah, I'm the same, Faust. I'm the same. I've been paying, I did this weekend actually. Had a little house party, just had a good old time, man. Just with the lads, nothing crazy, but just having some beers, music, and whatnot, watching some films. Just a like little fucking small gathering, basically, just chilling. And it was a good, man. It was good. Like that's what life's about, man. Ultimately, it's about creating memories and moments with people you love and care for. It's not about sitting in front of. It's not about like the material things so much. I think people kind of lose track of that, especially during what's going on now. How valuable that shit is. It's extremely valuable, and people deprive themselves of that because of what's going on right now. When in reality, listen, man, it's been overblown as far as I'm concerned. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how history looks back on it in 10, 20, 50 years time. We'll see. Do you think Pac-Man is on PEDs? Listen, I think everyone at the higher levels on PEDs. To be honest, I think both Floyd and Manny were on PEDs back then. No doubt about it in my mind. Like the whole court case between Pacquiao and Floyd was exceptionally fishy. Floyd ended up paying Manny whatever it was it 20 odd $1 million after Floyd accused him of being a juice user. And I think Manny wanted to. I think Manny wanted to. He wanted Floyd to release his medical records, and Floyd didn't want to in court. So make of that what you will. But I believe both of those guys were on juice back then. I really do. I believe both guys were on PEDs. You know me too well, official. You know me too well. Oh, Demetrius has joined us, by the way. Demetrius has joined us. Big up to Demetrius. I think so as well, Levi. I would still lean towards Demetrius Andrade in that fight. I would take Andrade, but listen, Williams would be his best opponent for a long fucking time. A long time. Best opponent since Vanes Martirosyan, arguably. Duck would move to the Ukraine, get me a nice looking Ukrainian wife, buy a house at the beach near Odessa. Yeah, I was looking. Do you know what? When was it? Yeah, about 2017. I was looking to go on holiday there to Odessa, but and it never happened in the end. But I'd love to. I'd like to visit Ukraine. So you want to be Sergei Kovalev, basically? Don't blame you, mate. Don't blame you. You're probably right, Levi. You're probably right. Del, who would you say is the best inside fighter in the pocket fighter of all time? James Toney was up there. Floyd was very good on the inside too, and various other fighters. Yeah, James Toney's my favorite inside fighter of all time. He's my favorite fighter of all time, period. So James Toney's always going to be up there for me. He was a master. He just looked so comfortable on the inside, where he's slipping and sliding, throwing through the middle with uppercuts. Just a brilliant inside fighter. One of the best, in my opinion, in recent history. Um, what other inside fighters do I like? Um, Trying to think. Oh, Evander Holyfield. Another great inside fighter. Especially considering the physical disadvantages he had at heavyweight. Holyfield was a great inside fighter. Yeah, his resume is AIDS, bro. His resume's trash, and his style is a bit ugly as well, man. Andrade, I don't like his style either, man. But it's good to see Demetrius join us in the chat. Yeah, I'm about personal sovereignty, I guess. You know, I want to make my own decisions, my own choices, and whatnot. If I want to go outside, I can go outside. I respect if other people want to, take caution and whatnot. That's fine, but listen, man, just let people live their lives, man. Let people take individual responsibility and decide how they want to go about it. It's like the whole private business thing. Business is being shut down because of a lockdown, non-essential businesses. Well, a lot of these types on Twitter, yeah, who push for these lockdowns and push for businesses to be closed, usually the liberal types, right? And when certain people get banned from Twitter and people moan about it, the first thing they'll say, well, Twitter are a private company. They can do what they want. It's up to them. Well, where's the same rule for these private businesses who have been shut down? They're a private business. Why can't they open if they can do what they want? Why? Why can't they open? Why can't they earn a living? But no, the same standard doesn't apply. It's nonsense, man. Yeah, he's a bad one, Levi. He's a bad world title challenger. Out of his depth, man. Horrible fight. He's up there. I'll tell you what, that version of Main Stavern we saw, that was a bad fucking title challenger. Is that true? Crawford versus Porter in the works? Because that's a fucking great fight, bro. If it is, hopefully it's in the works. I see nothing online, bro, but hopefully you're right. Yeah, he did. Casual cucumber, he did. Yeah, yeah, I'd say the same. IBT. One concern I have about Liam Williams is I think he's a bit of a flat track bully. Like we saw that in the Liam Smith first fight, he was winning the fight, and as the fight went on, you could see it getting tougher and tougher on him. The fight was stopped because Liam Williams headbutted him. But to me, Liam Smith headbutted Liam Williams. But to me, Liam Williams just seemed far too happy for the fight to be over, man. He seemed like he was struggling with a pace as it was going on. I got a feeling Liam Williams is a flat track bully, man. Just things I see in him, and I think he could. That's why I think if he fights Munguia, if Andrade vacated and he fights Munguia, I think Munguia would outlast Liam Williams in a war. But go for Ruiz, I like that. He's on. No, he's on. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's on TRT. Yeah, testosterone. Yeah. By the way, lads, if you could smash the like, be much appreciated. Be much appreciated. Always helps us out. Always helps us out, man. Pac-Man, no doubt. Still Manny Pacquiao, best southpaw right now. One of the best southpaws of all time, Manny. Some would say maybe the best southpaw of all time. Who knows, man? I used to really like. Do you know what? I used to really like Adonis Stevenson as well as a southpaw. Not a fan of him as a person, but he was very effective, man. That power left hand, that straight left hand was brutal, brutal, man. Josh Taylor as well, another great southpaw who I really like. Errol Spence, I really like as well. There's a lot of good southpaws out there. I guess you could call Terence Crawford a southpaw, though he switches. There's some real good southpaws out there right now. Some real good southpaws. Loma's not really responding well to the Tiafima loss. Will be interesting to see what's next. A third loss would devastate his legacy, in my opinion. He's only got 14 wins or so after all. I don't think it will do. I just think I think Loma's met his natural. He's met his natural limit now at lightweight. I think he's going to struggle with these guys. You know, with guys like fucking Tiafimo, Devin, just because of size, man. And yeah, I think he'll come back just fine. To be honest, I think he'll come back just fine. But we'll see, man. I want to see him back. I want to see him back. If he can't fight Tiafimo next, I quite like the fight against Nakatani. I really do. Yeah, don't get me started on Tom Hanks. That guy can't be trusted, man. Cannot be trusted. Luke Healer is shockingly not the worst challenger ever. I cannot think of many worse in recent times. I can't think of many worse. But in the history of boxing, I'm sure there are worse. Sure of it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, shitter. That's the ideal name for it. Can you imagine that MMA champ? If it's on at the same day, I'd watch Taylor Ramirez. Genuinely, I would. I'd watch Taylor Ramirez. It's crazy, Duck. It's absolutely crazy. And these are still vaccines that are under the trial stage as well. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a fact. They've not been fully developed yet. But anyway, the less said about that, the better. All I would say is just listen, live your life how you want to. That's what I advocate for. If you want to take caution, take caution. If you want to live your life, man. I don't live life scared of dying, man. It's like life's too short. I know it sounds contradictory, but if you always live in fear, man, you're not going to have a good time. If you isolate yourself from your friends, from your family, from your loved ones, that's quality time you'll never get back. And that's what I value that more than anything in the world. So listen, I'll just keep on doing me. I'll keep on doing me. Yeah, his fight with Badu Jack actually was a really good fight. What's your advice for a neighbor who is so dumb he's completely unreasonable, also overly emotional? Move is easy to say right now. Yeah, that's the only choice you have got, really. Unless, yeah, that's the only choice you have got, mate. Because you can't, if you can't reason with him, your choice is either to tolerate him and stay there and ignore him, or try and ignore him, or basically move, man, or try and wait him out until he moves. You've not really got much choice, mate. The 90s, Stevenson was so basic, but just had crazy power. Reminds me of Ngannou in the UFC. No real technical skill, but crazy power goes a long way. Yeah, like another thing with Adonis as well. He always had a good gauge of where he was in the ring, so he was always conscious of when he could hit you and when you couldn't hit him, because he had like exceptionally long arms. So when you felt he was out of range, he would ping you with that left hand when he weren't expecting it. His distance control actually was very good. Um, I actually went back and watched the Bellew fight the other week, and it was surprising to see how quick his feet were as well. They had real quick legs as well. He was very athletically gifted in his prime, Adonis Stevenson, and to me, he goes down as a wasted talent because I think he could have done a lot more in boxing. He could have done a lot more. Uh, Listen, mate, you may not like him as a person, but I think he was a very good fighter, very dangerous fighter, but never really made the most of his career, unfortunately. MMA champ says Purnell's the best southpaw of all time. Very good one, no doubt. Exactly, boxing losers stars. That's another thing that winds me up. I've had a couple of people lecture me, yeah, about taking it more serious and whatnot. And some of these people, yeah, I look at the state of them. They're obese. They look like they could keel over at any minute. I mean, come on, mate. Your cholesterol's more of a risk than COVID is to you, bruv. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Try and boost your own immune system. How about that? Eat healthy, run a bit, drink some water, you know? Improve your diet a little bit. Stop fucking drinking so much. Try and improve your fucking immune system. Why not try and do that? I mean, fuck, it's a joke, man. Oh, Raging Bull. Raging Bull. Did he trick me? Duck. Ah, pigeon got me, man. Pretty much, Duck. That's pretty much how it happened. Adonis in 2013 had a good year, though. So he beat Dawson for the title. He beat Tavoris Cloud, who was still like a top 10 guy at the time. And he beat his Mando in Bellew. 2013 was a real good year for Adonis, but he never built on it. Moving to Showtime, yeah, good money, but never really got the big fights, did he? At Showtime, because he actually originally went to Showtime, I believe, to fight Bernard Hopkins, because Bernard Hopkins was fighting on Showtime, if I'm not mistaken, and they was trying to make that fight, but Kovalev got the Hopkins fight instead, and it kind of scuppered Adonis Stevenson, and then those two guys, for whatever reason, could never get in the ring. Um, a lot of people like to blame one party, but to me, both guys were to blame. Adonis originally ducked it, and then obviously Kathy Duva asked the WBC for purse bids, and then when it happened, she pulled out. So to me, both parties are to blame for that fight not happening, and it's a shame. Another fight we missed out on. Big up to Real Bulldogs. I've not seen you here before, bro. So big up to you, sir. Big up to you. But anyway, mate. Anyway, lads, I'm gonna wrap this one up. We've been going for a little while now. Actually, we've been going for how long? We've been going for hour and 44 minutes. So we've been going a little while now. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this one up, boys. Peace.